Hello, Bryan Colter here, Evolutionary Astrologer, for your horoscope report for the upcoming Aries full moon that happens on October 20th. But really, it's describing the energies of a couple weeks here. And this is a dramatic full moon, and I'm sure you picked up on that just from the title of this video. Pioneer or die on spear, sorry for the rather graphic play on words there, but this does touch on the level of volatility that this full moon can bring potentially. And of course, as always, everything presents an evolutionary intention. Everything happens for a reason. It wouldn't happen unless we needed it, but why? That's really evolutionary astrology. We're always asking questions. Why does it need to happen? And what do we do with it? And even the title of the video itself is a question. And I see this style of astrology much more about questions and not so much about answers. Answers is much more the predictive style of astrology. And predictive, I'm tempted to say fortune telling is a dubious endeavor because the astrologer can get a sense of the archetypal field, but of course within that field is a wide range of potentials. And the future is just probabilistic, so we can't possibly know, but we can approximate, and whatever does happen will fall within that archetypal field. So instead of trying to wave a magic wand and try to guess what's going to happen and provide answers, I think it's important to provide questions, this open-ended question. And underlying the question is the recognition of the ultimate divine law of free will. We all make choices in every living moment, even when it comes down to our thoughts and emotions. We allow expression within ourselves. And of course, those thoughts and emotions are a major driver to what we say and how we act out into the world. But we're constantly bombarded with choices. And those choices, whether you have a more evolved choice or a less evolved choice, creates good or bad karma. So we always have a choice. The choice is ours. Do you want to be on the light side of the force or the dark side of the force? Because there is a range between light and dark in this realm of duality, this dense third dimension. And it's my belief that when we choose the more evolved choice, the more virtuous expression of that archetypal field, not only do we generate good karma, but we also accelerate our growth process spiritually. And I believe that's ultimately why we're here, which is to evolve, to learn, to grow, and to expand our consciousness. So the astrological energies are running through us, guiding us towards a certain archetypal field to make those choices, for better or for worse. Now, with this particular set of energies, there's a lot of fire, there's a lot of heat. This is a very dynamic energy. Because we have the full moon in Aries, obviously, the warrior, the pioneer, the daredevil. It's a very assertive, action-oriented energy. It acts first, asks questions later. Sometimes if it's coming from the more egoic place, it can be on the war path. But if we think about warriors, warriors are strong. Warriors are brave. So really that's a core evolutionary intention here. Asking yourself the question, how can I face my fears to evoke courage? That's the warrior question. And the warrior set of questions really are at the forefront of what's going on here. Because yes, the full moon is in Aries, but always when we're considering the full moon and the sign it's in, we always want to take into consideration the planet that rules that sign, which is Mars. So even if Mars was hiding off in some obscure corner of the sky, trying to make itself, mind its own business, make itself invisible, we'd have to pay close attention to it. But it's not. It's right next to the sun. Sun conjunct Mars, and implicit in that is we also have the moon opposite its own ruler, Mars. So a lot of tension there. Opposition is a tension-based aspect. And not only that, we have another volatile planet right next to the moon, and that is the planet Eris. And I've talked about Eris before, but we'll have to bring her up again. And this is one of the dominant events of this year, really, along with the Saturn-Uranus square, which I talk about all the time, is the Eris Pluto square, heavily activated right now during this full moon, and that's because Eris is conjunct the full moon and Pluto's square the full moon. So we got squares and oppositions going on here. It's tension or friction-based aspects. They're not bad, they're just hard. They're a little bit more challenging and require a little bit more sacrifice or compromise, or a little bit more uncomfortable, let's say. So obviously tense energies. You have Mars, the god of war, and of course it's activated, but it also rules Aries, the warrior, so it's like we got 2 votes for warrior energy here. Eris, the goddess of discordia, and then Pluto, the planet of extremity. It tends to make everything extreme that it touches. The planet of transformation, but also classically known as the Lord of the Underworld, the god of hell. So wow, those are some dramatic names. And I'm not saying terrible stuff's going to happen, but this energy does feel tense. It feels stressful, potentially more volatile, if we allow that. Again, it's about choice. Now, there's a better way of working with this energy, which I'll get to, but I think we will be seeing a lot of drama, perhaps on the world stage, but in people's lives who really, their charts are really getting lit up with this particular variety of planetary events. So it doesn't affect everybody the same way. There's always a danger in generalizing to a wide audience, but it still helps to present a useful question. How do you want to work with these energies? More proactively for your own evolution, or more destructively? Okay, so let's work first with the Pluto Era Square. So I've talked about this event before, but let's bring it back up. So Pluto, the planet of transformation, is trying to transform the energies, for better or for worse, of Eris. And it tends to bring out a lot of the woundedness. It's the god of hell. This is a reference or metaphor for the inner hells we create within ourselves. It's trying to bring out the inner hell world of Eris to the forefront. Why? Not to make things worse, but to transmute it into something else, from dark into light. Pluto's the archetype of the shaman, which dives into the underworld, to do soul recovery. So here is Eris trying to transform through its interactions with Pluto, and it's a square, so it's really hard, very dramatic. We're seeing the extremes of Eris almost competing with each other in a sense, and I'm using that word for a particular reason, because it's in Aries, the sign of Aries, the warrior, which is about competition, and even Eris itself is about survival instincts, survival of the fittest, dog-eat-dog world, gotta get ahead. So it is very much kind of the reptilian brain, if you will, this reactive place within us. The human's first instinct to survive at all costs is connected to the planet of Eris. And when Eris is activated, we see the dark side of competition, where we're just crawling over each other, and it doesn't matter, what destruction we leave behind us. We're trying to get ahead. We're trying to get ahead. And when that happens, it creates discord. It creates more destruction, which is associated with Eris. So what's the high end, though? What are we trying to transform into, or this energy into within the collective? Well, the more evolved expression of competition does not forget about the interconnectedness of us all. How we're in this interconnected universe. The actions of one affect the all, sort of thing. So it doesn't leave behind compassion, unconditional love, these qualities, and that competition. There's nothing wrong with competition. It depends on our own motivations and intentions that underlie our competitive impulses. But a more evolved expression of competition is basically competing against each other, not to, one-up each other, but rather to innovate, to evolve humanity, if you will, We're seeing this in the tech industry, for example, in some instances, where they're competing against each other, yes, but they're almost like having a positive force on each other as they continue to grow, continue to expand as they compete. And then humanity benefits from that. So this more evolved expression of competition is more the pioneering energy, as I indicated in the title. Okay, the Dion Spear is more of the more egocentric warrior energy. Okay, that's more focused on the self, and that's really the dark side of Aries, of people with strong Marses in their chart. The dark side potentially could be selfishness. And of course we want to evolve that into enlightened selfishness, where we still claim our own path, okay, in this very individualistic, freedom-seeking way, but we don't forget about others, and yes, we claim our lives, but we don't do it in a very egocentric way, more from a place of self-love, while still considering others. The more egoic warrior is a more destructive path, because it's much more susceptible to internal stress, of anger, of resentment, contempt, okay, of hatred in some cases, and wants to fight. That's destructive. And like attracts like. The realm of duality between light and dark, it still exists in our emotional world, or our astral body, if you will, or fourth dimensional world, because emotions aren't tangible, but we can sure feel them, but they are in the fourth dimension, okay, which is sounds pretty exotic, but the duality is still at work in the astral, okay, in the emotional world, if you will, but it functions as attraction and repulsion. Where our attention goes, energy flows. So like attracts like. So the more you really tap into these more virtuous expressions of these energies, you'll attract more of that in your life. The more you express the more destructive aspects of these energies, the more you'll attract that into your life and that within the collective. And here we are co-creating this probabilistic human future. So it's very important for us to always strive for the high end, because not only do we grow and we benefit through that process, but we also help others. So I'll pick on myself as an example here. Here I am, a YouTube astrologer, okay? And there's many of us out there, okay? So it's a pretty competitive thing. And I can do that as the pioneer or the Dion Spear, okay? If I was the more destructive warrior archetype, I'd probably be in a very stressful manner, scouring over other astrologers' videos and always looking at their subscribers and how many likes and comments they get and all that. There's that egoic structure, low consciousness behavior. It's like dog eat dog world. How can I one up this person? How can I be better than them? Always comparing myself to other people instead of focusing on creating my own content. And it might even lead to very egoic behavior, such as stealing other people's content, very low consciousness stuff, or other people's ideas and things like this. And this would create stress and destruction in my internal environment and my external environment. It would generate negative karma, and it would have a negative effect on the growth of my channel, and it would taint or poison my work, whether it's my readings or my classes, or it would just ripple out in my entire life. That's the dark side of Eris, which is out in full battle dress right now, but really this year as a whole and next year, because it's a long event. These are slow-moving planets. So how could I use this pioneer, this healthy, competitive spirit of Eris to transform me, my business, help my clients more and my audience? Well, I can look at my fellow YouTube astrologer contemporaries out there, and instead of looking at that negatively or in a threatening survival egoic mode, I can see it as inspirational. Wow, look at their audience. They're doing amazing, and allow that to inspire me and propel me on my journey to provide better work, to perfect my craft, and to innovate, evolve to a whole new level, transform to a whole new level. So it's all about where you come from. If it's coming from ego, basically, or your soul, positive or negative, and like attracts like, attraction and repulsion. So if I come from this more loving unity consciousness place, I will create a more prosperous business, and my audience will grow faster, and it'll just work out better. So is it pioneer or Dion Spear? That's the question. Now, this doesn't have to apply to your career specifically like this example I just used. It's important to know where this full moon and Eris are landing in your own personal birth chart. Me, for example, my Aries rules my midheaven, which is my 10th house, which deals with mission, career, relationship to the community. It's like perfect, so I can literally apply, okay, how can I be more of a pioneer in this specifically, content creation as an astrologer? So it's helpful to know where it is in your chart because each house of the chart is a completely different area of life. So this can add a greater level of specificity on how you can apply this very Eris in Aries question in your own life. And if you don't know how to read your chart, I do provide a 45-minute tutorial. I put a link up there in the video that will teach you how to look up your own chart and then find all your house rulerships and even describe what the houses mean. So if you're interested, check it out. Now there's one more event I want to sprinkle in here. And we can leave this on a positive note because I've been talking about all these dramatic energies. And this one's working with Jupiter. And Jupiter is in a beautiful supportive sextile to the full moon and Pluto, and a beautiful trine to the Mars and the Sun. And trines and sextiles are very supportive. It's mutually beneficial. So Jupiter is benefiting this evolutionary intention of hopefully going towards more of this pioneering, bravery, courage, cultivation associated with the warrior archetype. And it's about, in my opinion, in a pistachio nutshell, Jupiter in Aquarius is supporting in such a way where it's benefiting to help motivate this question and how to work with this question, the Jupiter question of how can I instill more faith for the human future? It's the faith builder. And here it is in the sign of Aquarius, which is the engine that drives social change. Ultimately, it's about a revolution to a whole new level, which is a major feature of this grand epoch that we're entering into, which is the age of Aquarius, okay? So Jupiter has a very optimistic feel to it. It's like, how can I have more faith in myself? How can I expand into life towards this Aries goal of applying my hardworking warrior energy to be more of a pioneer in a very healthy form of competitive way, okay? Now, what's the dark side of Jupiter? Well, Jupiter is susceptible to inflation, ego inflation, and when it's interacting with Aries and Mars and Eris and Pluto and all this stuff, it can be a bit self-righteous or pompous, So people that are expressing the more dramatic side of this fire energy can come across that way, which is a major turnoff. But the more healthy expression of Jupiter is I need to instill more faith in myself, that I have what it takes and I have something very special to provide to the human future. Okay, I'm not saying you're meant to change the world. Some of them maybe are in a big way, but we're all doing our tiny part in the co-creative process with the divine to evolve humanity into a better timeline, if you will, where we can really embrace this Aquarian age in a beneficial way. So those are the core evolutionary intentions, with the goal being to expand our consciousness. Now, this meditation we're going to do here is focused on cultivating more of that inner warrior archetype within. I hope you enjoy. Begin by focusing on your breath. And do a nice, slow inhale through your nose. And feel your belly and then your lungs expand. And then a nice, slow exhale. And focus on nothing but the breath. Now try to feel the beat of your heart. The pulse of life. And now slowly move your attention down to your left foot. And visualize a bright white sphere in your left foot. And on your next inhale, visualize that sphere moving up through your left ankle into your calf, relaxing and softening all the tissues in your lower leg. And see that white sphere move up into your left knee, left thigh, left hip, and now move the sphere over into the right hip, and see it slowly move down into your right thigh. And now into your right knee. And maintain your deep, comfortable, rhythmic breathing pattern. And move the sphere down into your right calf muscle. And with each inhale, you see the white sphere grow brighter and brighter. Now down into your right ankle. And your right foot. Now see the white sphere move between your feet. And then move upwards and enter through your root chakra. And now see this white sphere, now the size of a bowling ball, fill up your entire stomach in a bright white color. And with each inhale, you see it shine as brightly as you can in all directions. And maintain this visualization for a few more breaths. On the next inhale, move the white sphere up into the chest area. And now move it over to the right shoulder. The right bicep and tricep. The right elbow. And feel and see it move through your right forearm and into your wrist, and now into your hand. And see and feel your right hand in this luminous white color. You might even feel a warmth or a tingling in your physical right hand as you do this. Now see this white sphere move from your right hand to your left hand. And now it's in your left hand. Causing your entire hand to radiate in this white color. Now the sphere moves up into your left forearm, and into the elbow, into the upper arm, and left shoulder. Now it moves across into your neck, and your entire neck. See and feel it as a bright white. And now up into your head. With each inhale, see this white sphere in your head grow brighter and brighter. And maintain this visualization for a few more breaths. Begin to see and feel this white sphere move down from your head, through your neck, and back into your heart center, filling your entire chest with this white color. And now, on the next inhale, change that visualization to a pink color in your chest. Visualize it as bright as you can. This is the center of your astral body, emotional body. By focusing on the frequency of this pink color in this center, you help to calm your emotions and desires. Now, as you visualize this pink color in and around your chest, Start to feel self-love. Unconditional self-love. And from this meditative state, this unconditional love flows naturally from the eternal spark of your divine soul. Feel compassion for yourself and how far you've come in this current incarnation. Now I want you to feel strength within you, warrior strength. Resolve. Confidence. Temerity. Willpower. Feel the willpower within you. Feel courage. What does courage look like to you? What does it feel like? Feel it. Visualize it. It might be helpful to visualize yourself in a situation where you are exuding bravery. Whether it's standing up for yourself, setting healthy boundaries in your life, in one of your close relationships, or mustering up the courage to walk in and ask for a raise with your boss, or mustering up the courage to go out on stage, or maybe just going on some adventure that's thrilling and scary and exhilarating. Whatever works for you, visualize this event happening with as much detail as you can. What are you thinking? Feel the strength within you. What are you seeing? What are you touching? What are you tasting? Make this visualization as multidimensional as you can. And maintain this visualization and the feeling of strength, inner strength that it brings about. Maintain this for a few more moments. the visualization to fade and honor this process of strength cultivation within you. And focus again on your body, your entire body. And see your entire body glowing in an electric blue color. And this blue color is suffusing with every cell of your body, increasing its inner light.